she dated for a while, called her up, wants to start dating again, and she says, like, I'm not going through that again. So I said, let me look at his, chart, let me look at his stuff. And they had like one area of a big conflict in the chart, but they had a bunch of really nice connections. So I walked through her what that area of conflict. I said, look, this is not going to change who he is. You have to learn to accept this difference. That's always going to be there. Can you live with it? But besides for that, you have some really nice connections. So she went out with him again. 3 months later, they got engaged. They're married now 10 years. They have a child, Baruch Hashem. And like I said, yeah. And so it's there. By understanding what's happening, it can help you. It won't make a decision for you. It won't tell you should or shouldn't. I had said, you have to try. This is the area. See, can you live with it? See if you can work with it. Yes?
I'm personally reading astrology a lot, but I know that the Gemara also brings down like 12-month zodiacs. How do they define it?
How does the Gemara? So the Gemara in Shabbos talks all about astrology.
Does the Gemara also bring down that women were 12-month zodiacs?
Right. So that whole concept. So my whole first part of the book about it. What that means. The Gemara was teaching us that we're above the deterministic form of astrology. It gives the example of Mars. If you're born with Mars, it says, it doesn't mean you're going to be a murdering bandit. This is Gemara over there. It says you can be a butcher, a moil. Basically, it's saying the planet are tools. Let's say Mars is a knife. In those days, they believed, Mars is a knife, means you have to kill people. No, you can use a knife to do other things, to carve, to cook, they're tools. Your job is to hone and channel them. That's why Hashem gave us mitzvahs, to hone our abilities and in order to bring it out. Yes?
It also sounds like we're doing tell a lot of things in retrospect, but not use this kind of method right?
Not use what?
Like you can't use it to predict the future, right?
You can't use it as a predictor for your future.
Okay, so wait 1 second. So if I take an apple seed, right, and I'm able to tell that this apple seed is going to grow into a massive tree and produce apples, am I predicting the future? I see the potential capabilities. So I'm not predicting something, but I can see, yes, I can say in 2 years from now is when you're going to go through a massive transformation in your life. And now when I'm talking to you, we know you're stuck in this particular area, and there's a planet that's hitting that area. That means in the next 2 years is going to be an incredible opportunity to open this up, to grow. Or there's a 30-year cycle in astrology. It's very powerful. I have this in the roadmaps. You can list every 7.5 years as a major changing turning point in your life. And so if you have a new moon coming up in the next year or two, to me that's so encouraging. That means whatever you've been going through the last 30 years, you can leave behind. There's nothing about your future. You have an opportunity for a whole new beginning, just like Rosh Chodesh, which is a huge part of Judaism. It's an incredible new opportunity for renewal. So you can see that with this astrology. So yes, you can see things that are happening in future dates, but not predicting something specific. These are areas of growth. I can see your development. I can see how this is a time when another branch, another side of yourself is going to emerge. I'll give you an example. Like my son, I'm a Gemini, so there's something a progress chart where it moves along. So for 30 years of my life, after Gemini, my progress sun moved into Cancer. So I was more introverted. I never spoke publicly until I was 40 years old, and my progress sun went into Leo. And Leo is a fire energy. It's a leader. It's courageous. It's speak your truth. It's get out there. And then that shifted my life. So you can know that in advance. I don't know what that would mean for me. Now I do. Now I see what my purpose is, right? So you can see all of that, including into the future, but never predicts a specific thing. Yes.
Seeing in the future brings you hope. So like
Yes, encouragement, and you see, yes, wow. Because again, the caterpillar doesn't believe it can fly. And by the way, that's one of the biggest issues, self-belief in ourselves. And the chart shows you're a powerful, amazing human being, that Hashem created you with incredible things to do. And it just reinforces. I'm telling you, I did chart reading for people, and somebody who's an artist, she stopped painting for 2 years. And I showed her, she has Neptune, Venus, and I showed her the ground, like, what? She started painting again. And my favorite thing is when I go through a chart reading with somebody and they call me back in a few weeks, I quit my job and I decided to follow my dream job, what I'm here to do, my tafkid, my purpose. And I encourage everybody, don't wait. Why you, like, I don't call it wasting time, but like, you have gifts, you have abilities, you're created for a reason. Do it. Go out and do it today. What are you waiting for? Yes?
A lot of people you mentioned, like your astrology, they accomplish these big feats without knowing their astrology chart.
Yes.
So why, or is it important that we actually know this, and will it happen anyway?
So yes, so when you're here, if you're on your journey, you can live your whole life without knowing anything about astrology. But my question is, why wouldn't you want to know? So depending on who you are and where you're at, sometimes we're struggling, sometimes we feel lost. It's so helpful to know. But you don't have to know. You don't have to know astrology in order to do great things. If you follow your purpose and your path, you'll get there. It's just a tool. It's a roadmap. It's a map in order to see. Remember the days when you used to go to AAA and get a triptych? It marked the road and the map before a GPS. Like that. It's helpful. You can get there without it. It's just helpful to have it. And I'm like, why wouldn't you want to know it?
Does it just set people up for failure, knowing that some big event might be coming and they don't know what it is?
So I will talk, when I'll address that. So when the people who have that fear, that means they probably have Saturn in their chart, and we got to talk about it. We got to address it. Saturn is sitting on your shoulder saying, you're not good enough, you're not going to be able to do it, oh no, I'm going to probably fail. By the way, you know how human this is? Moshe Rabbeinu. I was like blown away, like studied in the Torah. When Hashem came to Moshe Rabbeinu and said, I want you to lead the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim, you know Moshe Rabbeinu answered him? What you just said. Mi unachi. Who am I? Who am I to do? Take my brother Aaron, he's much better. And then he said, Ani aral sevasoyim. I have stuttering issues. I am not a good communicator. I can't be the spokesperson for the Jewish people. Moshe Rabbeinu said this. So yes, that's the voice, that's Saturn. I'd love to see Moshe Rabbeinu's chart. I bet you he had Saturn. But yes, so you got to be very careful. That's why you should know astrology. Because if you know you have Saturn, you know how to, and I do this all the time, I help people combat that voice that's keeping them stuck. My favorite example is a meme of an elephant with a big chain on its leg. And it doesn't go anywhere because it has this big chain. But the big chain is connected to a folding chair. And that's where we are. That's where we get stuck. Yes? Okay. So number one is my website, kosherastro.com. Very simple. On the sheets at the bottom of the page, it's my website, my email, all the information is on the handouts. So first, I would strongly suggest that people buy the book because I put so much energy. I was so blown away by it. There's nothing like it out there. This is the book that I would want to read. I've read over 400 books on astrology. I've read every single Jewish book and sefer that I can find. And I went and I put all of that into this 500-page book. And I created 75 pages of illustrations in the book, so to make it understandable, it shouldn't be too overwhelming. Every chapter has an illustration at the end explaining it. And I wanted it to full color book, so I wanted it to be beautiful also. So I would say start with that. Then have a birth chart. See what your birth chart looks like. Start looking into it. I hope to start creating courses. If you want to learn astrology, become an astrologer. I hope to do that, B'ez Hashem, in the next month or two. So yes, you're welcome to do that. Yes?
So this question, you do these birth charts and all of these, right? And then there's also other sources that there are like apps in different places that do birth charts as well. So what's the difference between those two? It's okay, like I'm just curious.
Yeah. So yes, for example, like AI, people say they do AI, or I do chart readings for people, and then they say, wait, I looked up on the web, it says if I have Saturn in my 5th house that I'm doing, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's not kosher astrology. Once you know the rules of kosher astrology, you can get astrology from anywhere, as long, it's like kashrus. You can go to a not kosher store. If you know the rules of kashrus, you know what to do.
You have to know the rules of kashrus in order to know what to buy.
Right, so my book will tell you exactly what is kosher, what's not kosher, and you can see a lot of the general secular stuff, the minute they tell me that they have a bad placement, it's right away wrong. There's no such thing as a bad placement. There's no such thing. That's a not kosher way of looking at it. And you'll see that all over. So that's why I don't encourage out there. But yes, there's definitely a lot of information you can get out there if you know how to sort through it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
The child, you said that if a child has, I think it was Neptune with Jupiter, Mercury, I don't remember.
Right.
But that you see them, you get sad because it means that they felt emotionally not supported.
Saturn.
If someone has a child and they're a baby, can they avoid them feeling that when they're grown up? Can they emotionally support them enough?
Right, so it's very interesting to see, what came first, the chicken or the egg? How does that work? I would say if you see that your child has that, there's something, so being conscious and aware I think can be incredibly helpful. And I once did a chart reading for a mother. She was having literally a 4-year-old daughter. She was having such difficulties. Every time she wanted to help the child was really, couldn't take anything from the mother. And she didn't understand what was happening. So I went through their charts and I showed her that she had quadruple Leo energy, and the child had a very sensitive square, an area of hurt and trauma that they need to work through in Pisces. And this Leo energy was overwhelming them. So I was telling them, you're not doing anything wrong. You're an incredible human being, what Hashem created you to be. But understand, that kind of energy is too much for this child. However, you have a moon in Cancer. You have one planet that's in water. That's the way it was trining that moon. That's the way to connect, which means don't try to teach the child anything. Just be there. Just love. Just emotional support. Don't leave that fiery, strong part. Don't do that with this child. They can't handle it because they have a very sensitive. This is not a typical thing. They had a particular thing, and so that was incredibly helpful to understand the dynamics between parents and children. Absolutely. And the more you know about your child, the more you know about your own chart, the more you know about your child's chart. That's why if you have somebody who has multiple kids, for some of the kids it's amazing, and some one or two children are suffering terribly because they are different, and you have to know what's happening. Okay, yes.
What's a rising sign according to Torah?
So a rising sign that's the sign on the ascendant, right? So that's the sign, the face that you bring to the world. So it's not necessarily who you really are. It's like if you went for an interview, what face would you present to the interview? How would you want the world to see you? So it's kind of like your fake face, kind of like it's not your essential thing. So that's what people are very much talking about that. I much rather care about your sun, your moon, your Mercury, Venus, Mars. To me, that's much more important than the rising sign. Okay, final question. I think we have to wrap it up. Yes?
Oh, so it's more of a statement. It's like astrology, Kosher Astrology helps you have more compassion to the other person?
Oh, completely. I'm telling you, when I see charts, like I right away, I have sometimes such compassion. That's another thing. Hello, never judge anybody. You say, like, I can do that. Why can't that person? Because you don't have their planets. If you had that struggle, you would be down on your knees begging God, help me, okay? Don't judge other people.
What's wrong with this kid? Like, when you think
Right, you can never judge. Until you're in his place, literally, until you have his astrological birth chart. Take a look at that, and then you'll never judge another person
Same
in
with
your life.
comparison. Think about it. We all think of comparison. We want to be something else somewhere else. And why can't we be like that? Why can't we be more like this person?
Yes, Alexander.
I'm curious to know, like, there's such an oversaturation of wisdom out there in terms of, astrology is everywhere. There's so many traditions of it. So I'm wondering, based on your learning, how much could we interact with that? Like, what is our lane? Like the cosmos provides common, we're always interacting.
Like I said, you have to be knowledgeable first. So I would say start with this book, understand what's kosher, what's not kosher, and when they talk about a bad placement, okay, that's not true. But yes, everything's going to depend on yourself. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm happy to answer questions. You buy the book, I'm happy to sign your book. Come over here, and I'm happy to sign the book. You can buy a book over there, and you can sign books here. Yes.